Well, welcome back everybody. I hate starting the video out this way, but no time lapse today, and that's perfectly okay. I'll explain real quick. We had somebody here today that said that they would not like to be on camera. That is perfectly fine. That is their right. That's why I ask everybody. So I did not record today, but I'm going to show y'all some of the progress. I'll give you a quick glimpse of the plumbing going on underneath, but I'm going to shoot right back at this video in just a minute after it's done, because that's going to be a much better time to show it. But as you can see, we have almost every bit of underlayment on. We actually run a bit short on that. So I want to get up and give you some details. A lot of people have asked about it. We'll talk about the nail pattern up there. And then tomorrow I'll catch y'all back and we'll discuss all the plumbing that's going on underneath. All right, so here we are on the roof. And like I said, we got the majority of the underlayment done. I'll show y'all this side since it's pretty much all done. So keep in mind, anytime you have a low pitch roof, like I do down there, it's actually, they keep calling for it being a 1.5 by 12 pitch, but I think it measured out to 2 by 12. So our plans actually call that we have to double up the underlayment down there because it's such a low pitch and could potentially hold water, although it's still got plenty of pitch to it, and we'll shed the water off. Now the rest of our roof is 4 to 12 pitch, and it calls for a single layer of underlayment. Our engineer had actually called for some of the best underlayment that they make. This is that titanium underlayment, and I'm kind of glad he did, because let's face it, if you're going to have a leak somewhere, it's going to be on a roof. So you could start all the way from probably the cheapest stuff there is, from tar paper or felt paper as they call it, all the way up to this titanium stuff here. This is, everybody's just been bragging over it, all my contractors telling me this is about the best stuff you can get. So for some reason you could not put a metal roof on this anytime soon. This stuff is rated for 6 months from the manufacturer to be out in the weather before you even put anything over it. We're not planning on it being that long, but I do like that it's just really good quality stuff that's underneath a roof that potentially could leak at some point. That's the thing that scares me about metal roofs. They tend to have a little bit higher possibility of leaking, depending on the screws, how they're fastened down, than shingles. This will be the first metal roof of our life. But I'm very happy we went with the good underlayment. So they're going to come back tomorrow. We got to pick up one more roll, finish this off, and then this is technically somewhat weatherproof until we get past a potential day or two of rain and they come back and lay the metal on. But I wanted to talk to y'all about something. A lot of people were asking for details, so I'll get a little specific in this video, and then we'll go back to some time lapse on another video or two, and then it's going to start with me building. So our plans called for, anytime you butt sheathing together, to have it 4 inches on the edges. So anytime you have an edge, that is the entire edge of the plywood, all the way from the very edge here to anytime 2 pieces butt together, has to be 4 inches. And then it calls for what's called 8-inch on center in the field. So it's hard to tell right now, but there is an 8-foot sheet of plywood right here. So all the nails that are out in the field, so to speak, has to be 8 inches on center. Like I said, 4 inches right here at all seams. That's quite a bit. I know once you get down to the coast or other counties around here, they require 3 inches. In my opinion, you're starting to perforate the wood so much, I'm not so sure that's holding well. Because when you take a look right here, I mean, just look at all the nails going in there. But let's face it, the metal is going to be fastened to this plywood since we decided to deck over instead of the purlins. So your plywood is critical that it's fastened down very well. So if the metal catches wind, it doesn't want to lift your sheets of plywood off. I feel very, very good about the way they've fastened this, and I feel very good about spending the extra money on this titanium underlayment. Anything we can do to make this roof of better quality and not have a leak, I'm very happy with, especially since we're going to wind up doing foam insulation, and that does kind of make it a little harder to see a leak. Now, as far as this little vent in the roof, this is actually going to get filled in with foam. When you do icing or spray foam insulation, you technically have an unvented roof. That's how good that insulation is and what's required. We're not doing your typical fiberglass batten insulation. So eventually this will get sprayed and filled in, and it'll never come out the ridge cap that's up here. But I just wanted to show you all the progress. I'll go downstairs. We'll show you one more thing that I've done, you know, with this roof right here, because technically when you do a pole barn kit, you don't even do plywood, but I had them do plywood to make this roof strong, and we did something else underneath. All right, so quick sneak peek of this. I'll show you all this when it's finished tomorrow, but making progress on plumbing. And what I had them do, again, when you buy a barn kit like this, typically you have just your 2x6 purlins that run this way. And a lot of people have asked, why are they vertical instead of horizontal? You get much more strength on a vertical piece of wood than you do a horizontal. That's a lot less strength, a lot less fiber strength. I also had them, I don't know if you can see these sections that run this way. This is called blocking. So every time the 4-foot sheet of plywood meets another 4-foot sheet, I had them put blocking in. That's something I requested and paid extra for. So now every single plywood is nailed down into a block. That makes an unbelievably strong roof, really holds things down well. We spent thousands extra doing the plywood and the blocking, because typically on a pole barn house, to save money, you just put metal down and maybe put spray foam straight to it. The reason we did that is I want spray foam going to the bottom of plywood, so we plan on outliving this roof without a doubt. We're in our late 30s, and you know, hopefully the Lord blesses us with 50 more years. We're gonna have to replace this roof at least one good time. So I want our spray foam insulation to go straight to the bottom of the plywood, not to the bottom of the metal. Manufacturers typically don't warranty metal roofing that has spray foam straight on it, and now I don't have to worry about it. You just remove screws down the road, you can take your metal off, put a new roof on, never touch your plywood, never touch your insulation, keep everything intact. And like I said, this makes an extremely strong roof, but it does come at a cost. All right, so the plumbing is officially done now and pressure tested. And forgive the noise, we got a little bit of roof work going on. I wanted to show y'all this before everything gets covered up. So a lot of it already did get covered up. Plumber didn't realize I was gonna come out here and do some recording. And again, I apologize for not catching all of this, because some people didn't want to be on camera. And again, that is perfectly fine, that's their right. So I just didn't record this process, but I figured I'd talk about it. So one of the very important things when it comes to your plumbing is slope. You always want your plumbing sloping away and toward your septic tank. And for my particular area, you need to check your own rules. It's 1/8 of an inch of slope per foot, and they check that with levels. I've seen it be up to 1/4 inch a foot. So check that. It's based on size of pipe and again, just your rules and your areas. Also, you'll see these different colors here. Anytime you go through a footer, you have to sleeve your pipe. That allows for some wiggle room, expansion, and not crushing the pipe. So you can see my hot water lines are sleeved with red, cold with blue, and my waste outlet lines are sleeved with that kind of turquoise color pipe. Again, it's just kind of for protection and allow some movement there. So to give you a real quick rundown before I start covering everything up, and I may explain a little more this afternoon once it's you know, a little quieter around here. Just wanted to show you some things here. So back here we have a sink. This is going to be a half bath. So you got a toilet on this side, sink over here, and you'll actually walk through here into our closet this way. Again, we're going to give y'all a proper tour and plan layout here on a video before long. So come in this direction through this little half bath, you come into the utility room. Washer dryer hookup. We also went ahead and plumbed for a utility sink right here. Again, because we're coming through another footer, we are sleeved correctly. And again, sorry, a lot of this has been covered up over here. So now you're in the bathroom. There is a wall right there where these strings are. Washer, dryer. This side is toilet and our main bathroom. And that is our shower outlet. So this is where, you know, the shower drain will be. It's dead center of the shower. We've got a 44-inch wide by 72-inch shower, so really nice size there, being that it's going to be the only shower in the house. So coming along from the bathroom, I've tried to uncover some of these joints. What is critical whenever you're doing your plumbing, it comes to here, you always want it to sweep and flow away from the direction that it's coming from. So the shower is going this direction. You've got a Y coming in, bringing all the waste outlet from this direction. We're coming down, now we're into the kitchen. Here is the kitchen sink, hot and cold water and drain. So you still have a drain valve coming that direction and one coming, and one coming from this direction, bringing everything back here. So this is where the two main waste outlets meet. Again, this one this direction, there is a sweep in here and a gentle sweep here. Y's always going with the flow. And there is our outlet going out into the yard. This is where it'll stop. I'll put me another clean out right here. Then we're going to carry it down the house this direction. We've got a nice natural slope that direction. We shouldn't have no problem meeting per code slope heading out there. And you can't see the little flag out there where we've already soil tested for our septic system. So you're probably wondering why come out and jug. We'll have to do a gentle sweep out here as well, making sure we get good flow. But we did not want to come out the end of the house down there. I'll explain why in just a minute, why we wanted to offset over here or in the porch. We decided ultimately not to dig in all the already packed soil here, so this seemed like a good exit point going alongside the house where maybe we'll have shrubbery down the road, but we're not going to be parking up this close. So again, kitchen sink. We've got a water valve run here. This is still inside the kitchen. This is going to be for where the refrigerator goes for your ice maker. Again, back into the bathroom over here. There's a shower, toilet. Now you're back in the laundry room and another half bath over there. I'll walk back around and explain what that is here in just a minute. So going this direction now, straight through the living room and everything else, is because what we have talked about so much. All right, I'm out on the porch now. This is our back porch, really big. And again, I have told y'all we're going to do a small outdoor kitchen out here. So now is the time to go ahead and run hot and cold water and a drain, because somewhere out here I am ultimately going to have me a sink and kind of prep area to where I can cook, and we can do a lot of entertaining out here. We are absolutely outside people. You can see how big we made this back porch. It's a 20 by 40. Plenty of roof protection for if rain goes to blowing in. And again, there's that view. All right, so back to why we run the waste outlet valve along the side of the house over here instead of just straight out back. We have plans to put a pool out here down the road and a back deck. We're probably just going to do an above ground pool because of cost, but we still may want to dig and set it down in the ground to get it nice and flush with the deck that we'll build out. So that's why we did not want any waste outlet valves coming out here, because that will ruin our option to be able to dig down and sink a pool in. With it coming out over there, that is perfectly fine. That is way out of our way, and it goes very close to where we already soil tested for the drain field and the septic system. All right, so I have actually started covering up this trench here, but this is going to be our big pantry area right here. And this is where an on-demand hot water heater is going to be. We have we had a propane on-demand hot water heater at our last house. Absolutely loved it. We're doing another one here. So there is our hot and cold water. You can see stub me in on the outside where we can easily run over to the well whenever it comes time to run water into the house. We're also going to bring power in over here from the pole as well. We'll kind of do everything in the backside of our big pantry. So there is the main water going into the house to feed and split off to every room that requires it. All right, so I'm going to let y'all in on a little secret. I had them stub the waistline on the outside, and we've made sure it slopes in per code to give us a waste flow here. But this is the back side of a sink right here for our half bath, and toilet over there. It's kind of a little get ready room for Tiffany before she goes into her closet over here. But the reason I had them go ahead and run this on the outside is for two reasons. One, I'm going to put a clean out here. I want to have access going into the inside of the house from both directions. So if we ever have a plug and need to clean out, need to snake it out, you would never get a snake all the way in from that direction over there. It's just no way. But the main reason, and this is the secret I'm going to let y'all in on, we do plan on down the road adding on back here. That's the one thing I loved about a barn. Non-load bearing walls out here. So I'm going to go ahead and have them plumb out a waste outlet here. I've got hot and cold in the wall I can tie into. And the eventual plan is down the road to bring a roof off back here and do 2 more bedrooms and 1 full bath. Kind of has a, you know, little guest rooms here. So now was the time. I've tried to think as far ahead as I could for power and waste and water. And you know, you can't go back chiseling up your slab to run that. So I tried to put some forethought in. So if we ever want to add on, bam, waste outlet valve right here, water right here in the wall. We'll put the bathroom somewhere in this general location. Bedroom here, bedroom over there, Now we have just turned into a 3-bedroom house. And you're probably wondering why we didn't do that now. Simply because we don't have the money. We're doing our absolute best to pay out of pocket, even though everything is so expensive right now with COVID. And all we could even attempt to try to do was a 1-bedroom house right now. And it looks like it'd be very easy down the road if materials ever drop to come back here and do 2 bedrooms. So that may be a future build for the channel right here. So there's my little secret. All right, so what I'm gonna do is cover up all this plumbing, make sure I get it nice and supported. I'm gonna tamp it down with my hand tamp and kind of get everything for the concrete guys, get everything ready for them that's coming tomorrow. And they'll bring their plate compactor, that gas powered machine, and get this back to grade and level tomorrow. But I wanna go ahead and get all the dirt in to where they won't be walking around, stepping on things that are elevated like that, busting my PVC. And then I've got leaking PVC in a slab. So now's the time that I really want to go ahead and support everything. So here we go. This is a workout. Whew. Alrighty. If y'all hear me breathing heavy, I've earned it. That was quite a few hours worth of digging and tamping. I'm wore out. I'm gonna lose some weight by the time we get done with this house build. So what I did is I've got everything close to back to grade. It's hard to tell on camera, but everywhere that was dug up, I tamped, but I can't do anywhere near as good of a job as one of those gas-powered, plate compactors. So the concrete guys are gonna bring one back tomorrow, and I left dirt mounded up everywhere that was loosened, because whenever they run that plate compactor, that dirt is gonna settle back out. That's also why I left a few mounds of dirt up in here, because they're gonna wind up compacting it down way better than I could. And there's going to wind up being a few low spots. So they'll work that out tomorrow. One thing I did want to let y'all know, as far as testing for your plumbing, before I was allowed to cover all this up, you have to pass an inspection with the inspector. So there's 2 things we had to do. We left this one pipe quite high and filled it slap full of water. I don't know if y'all could see that right there. So what that does is this is tied into the entire sewage system right here. So before we glued every cap on right here, we filled up with water to purge the majority of air out. Then you glue caps on, let it sit for a while, finish filling up with water, and we actually shot a screw into one of the caps down there, took it out, let water shoot out, basically purge the line of air. And then what you have to do is fill it back up, and the inspector has to sit here and watch this. And if this starts dropping down any, you've got a leak somewhere, and he's got to go look at all the joints. So what we did, that was actually done yesterday. And just want one thing to let y'all know, when temperature changes, that water will drop. Density of water and that temperature and all the pressures, everything change overnight. So when it cooled off, I come out here this morning, this water's down here, but the inspector had already forewarned me that would happen. So I filled it back up, and it's been right there all day long for hours and hours, hasn't dropped at all. So I feel very confident there is no leaks in there. Now you may be wondering, why is that not under pressure? Well, because a sewage system, your sewage pipes right here, they are not under pressure. They're not designed for pressure. It's a free-flowing system that goes out. So having this few feet of water column right here actually provides a couple PSI, believe it or not, just enough to pressurize the system, which is more than it'll see in a daily household use, because there won't constantly be water just sitting in there like that several feet up. So that's enough to test. Now your water lines is a whole different story. They're obviously under pressure from your pumping well out here, so those have to be pressure tested. Let me show you what we did here. So all the water lines had to be capped, glued and capped. Then the plumber had a special little rig to where he could hook a water hose up to it, put water in the lines, and then he pressurized it up to, believe it or not, 100 psi. And here's what is a great thing. He put it at 100 psi yesterday. It's been 24 hours and look where it's at, 99. So feel very confident we don't have a leak on that water system too. That's far more pressure than you will ever see with a pumping well. I have mine set at about 55 psi. So the inspector has to watch that. Long story short, you've got to pump it up to the 100, and they'll sit there and watch it for 10 minutes. And if it starts dropping or any fluctuations, you fail. You've obviously got a leak somewhere. It's got to be located and fixed. So luckily we passed both. No leaks found, no drop in water over there, no drop in pressure here. So we are good to go. The other thing was a surprise. My barn contractor, he had to dog this job off and go on something else, but I told him to at least get me dried in as far as underlayment goes, because we're expecting some very bad storms tomorrow. So he showed back up today with somebody, and they probably put several hundred, if not 1,000 or more nails in up there, and really got the underlayment held down good. I wasn't even expecting them to show up today, so I'm glad they did that. That makes me feel a whole lot better about riding out this bad weather that we're supposed to get tomorrow. So where are we at? Oh, the good thing about that pressure gauge is, I forgot to tell y'all, when they're doing concrete tomorrow and walking around, well, they're not doing concrete tomorrow. Tomorrow they'll be doing 6x6 wire mesh, my underlayment, and my rebar. So when they're in there doing all that, if they were to crack or step on one of those lines, I'm gonna keep an eye on that pressure gauge. We're dogging the job off, dig the line up, and repair it before we get to concrete. So I'm gonna leave that under pressure until concrete is poured to make for sure that we don't have any issues. All right, well, I think I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Again, I apologize for not recording my normal way. You know, again, somebody else did not want to be on camera, so I absolutely have to honor that. Just because it's my property doesn't mean I can go shoving a camera in somebody's face. I always ask, and if somebody's not comfortable, we're just not gonna record. I'll come out here at the end of the day like this and kind of let y'all know what's going on. So the next video, like I was just explaining, will be the underlayment going down, the 6x6 wire mesh that the plans call for, the rebar that has to go on the inside edge of the post and in the main footer, and let's see what else. There'll be a few other things they have to button up here. Then the day after that, assuming weather allows us to, we have got a will call in to the concrete company, so we'll call them if it's good, and we're pouring concrete. So I'm hoping the next video that I show y'all is with a finished slab out here and the process it took to get it there. Very exciting, very, very, very excited about this. Tiffany and I both. Yeah, we're making progress without a doubt. So we'll catch you on the next video. Don't forget to drop a comment if you have any questions, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you like these videos. It really helps the channel grow. Catch you on the next video.